Hello, good evening, and thanks for joining us on this evening's edition of Majority Caucus. We are coming your way live on Multi TV on Joy News. My name is Ali Dawood. I will be your host for tonight's discussion, just like we do it always on Wednesday evening, right here on this network. Something interesting is happening within the political atmosphere in Ghana in the run-up to the 2016 election. I just heard, prior to coming to this studio, Boache Jaku read a press statement. Amongst many things that he said, one of them was that the people of Ghana should not vote for the NDC, because even though Dumso, listen to this very carefully, even though Dumso has ended, but they are not convinced. They believe that when you vote for John Mahama to Tuaso, of course, immediately after the election, the Dumso will come back. I see an admission of performance and the governance of John Dramani Mahama. They have technically admitted that John Mahama has solved the issue of Dumso. They cannot use Dumso for campaign anymore. So the strategy is to tell you, oh, after you voted for John Dramani Mahama, the Dumso will come back. You should read in between the lines. It's clear. Dumso can no longer be a campaign message for the MPP. They have just admitted that. But they want you to be wary that, oh, if you vote for them, tonight, we will let you know the truth to that. Whether or not the MPP is still in disarray as to lacking focus and vision for this year's 2016 election. I will tell you all about that. I have very important people in the studio. I will introduce them right after this break. Don't go away. Hello and thanks for staying with us. This is Majority Caucus Live. You're just joining in. My name is Ali Dawood. I'll take you through tonight's discussion. I am with some very important personalities in the studio. I have, before I introduce them, the president turned his attention to the Volta region, the power bank for the NDC over the weekend or throughout last week. Yes, to tour the Volta region. We've been serializing his campaign tour, Volta region, Northern region, Upper East, Greater Accra, Western region. We've done it all. It's now the turn of Volta region. So tonight, I will say Mia Wizo to my good people in Volta region and everybody else watching me. But today, Mia Wizo, I'm raising my hour. So I have in the studio the Volta regional youth organizer. He's the person of Egypt, Kuduto. He's also a journalist, so you can trust that the discussion in the studio tonight will be very informative and educative. I also have in the studio lawyer Eduji Tamaklu, also from the Volta region, even though he's been basing his businesses in Accra. So tonight it's all about Volta region. So we'll discuss what the president did and the feedback. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me.
Thank you.
Egypt, it's a pleasure to have you. This is your first time.
Sure.
He's my partner.
No, not my first time. I've been here before, but not with you.
Oh, okay. Sure. Oh, okay. So
before,
first time
I
with
think
me.
Before 2012 elections.
Good. Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
I love my Kobla. You omitted my. I'm Tuesday born.
Egypt,
I cherish.
Kobla.
Sure.
Egypt, Kobla.
Real.
Kudutu.
All right.
Sorry. Thank you very much for joining me, Egypt.
Thank you.
Egypt, do you follow the president in the Volta region?
Sure.
It just in summary, what did you glean as a regional executive? What we heard from the MPP that there's diminishing returns in terms of the love and enthusiasm that normally greets the president when he visits there. What do you see? Is there
we had the same thing in. Let me say thank you for the opportunity, and let me say a very good evening to our viewers across the country, across the world, and it's great having me. In 2012, we had the same thing. That the NDC's support base is going down, that they were going to make some 25 or so percent, in elections, and the results were out, and they saw what came out from the Volta region. But this particular election is going to be mega. And the president's visit was exciting, was exceptionally great. It really was to say that the people of the Volta region really cherish His Excellency President Mahama. They just love him. They thought he's the best thing that has happened to our party and government in this critical time in our history as a party. So Volta region was great, and I guess the old man was, His Excellency was so excited at the close of the tour on the Saturday, the last day of the tour, he was with so much satisfaction, full of admiration for the region, and was so proud and glad that he was in Volta. Of course, he was at home.
What was different this time around from 2012?
From 2012, what was different was this time around we didn't bus our people to the various...
No busing?
No busing.
Natural crowd?
Natural crowd. The people were, it was spontaneous. His Excellency was on one of the trips from one of the constituencies to North Dine, and students from Mando Technica, you know, out of their classrooms and came and blocked the road that they would not allow His Excellency to go to North Dine without coming to their campus and have time with them. Meanwhile, the day before, His Excellency was in Mando already, so that place was not part of his schedule for the day.
Of his presence.
They didn't have enough of it. So they thought that, look, let's grab him. He's on our road. Let's stop him. He will not go past without coming back to us and for us to feel him. You know the GMT and the way he will be doing that thing. The students love it. This one. What was it? The same boat
thing.
You know,
we are going,
it was huge.
We are heading.
It was huge. And I'm so excited that the first time voters are interested in a young man who can connect with them. You know, this man can be doing that.
Yes. That was going to be really, you know, my
the next students question. Love the young folks, the IT guys, the post-independence Ghana people. The students easily flow with them. So His Excellency had that natural touch with the young men, the students, the Volta region, everybody there. So I'm like,
as a youth organizer, one of the tasks will be how to get the first-time voters. Somebody is 18 today. I'm sure he will be how many years in 2000?
If you're 8 years.
8 years.
8 years.
Less than 8.
Or 10.
Or 10. Yeah. You see? So they wouldn't know, for instance, the MPP lied to the good people of Ghana in their 2000 manifesto at page 5 that they are going to create jobs for everybody who is willing and able. They don't know.
Sure.
So a part of your mobilization that you do, you need to, what sentiments do you get?
One of the things that we did in Volta at the youth front that was so solid was the fact that on all our campuses, we have about 20 or so tertiary institutions across the region from Keta to Karachi. We've had, you know, youth programs on every single campus, in every single institution, tertiary institution. You know, sometimes it's not just about it's a campus program, and you have almost almost all the students participating. And we have our key players in government and in party coming around to enlighten our young ones to, you know, replay the history of Ghana. Even not during the Nkrumah's history, just the areas of MPP's history, and really they will be like, wow, if this is really what happened in the last 8 years of MPP government, 2001 to 9, then we need not to come close to these people. We need not to give them the opportunity to taste power again. So the message has gone out there to the young ones, but it is not like we are done. We keep touching base with them. Coming weekend from Friday, today's Wednesday, tomorrow Thursday, from Friday till Sunday evening, we virtually visiting almost all campuses. We doing a program in Hohwe, bringing all the 4 tertiary institutions in Hohwe together, the first-time voters, touching base with them. You know, the Volta Green Book is here. We just, you know, enlightening them on all the major projects that His Excellency has brought to the region, the kind of transformation Volta region has experienced that some of the students are in, for instance, Hohwe, that they are not aware that there is a major sea defense project going along the coastal Volta.
In Keita, right?
And Keita area, Blekusu area, that's the K2 South constituency. So clearly, the Green Book is what we're going to go around with, the Volta Green Book. We have our own.
Oh, there's a special Green Book for Volta.
That is Volta region for you.
So why is the MPP telling us that the
very
Volta
reliable region?
We
have our own Green Book that captures all the 25 assemblies, municipal and the district assemblies, you know, the projects that all of this, you know, districts have experienced, you know. And so this is not the Green Book that you are
This is the National Green Book.
This is VR Green Book, the very reliable.
Interesting.
So we've captured all of that, and we're going around with it, and the people are getting to appreciate the contribution of His Excellency John Mahama to the transformation. I'll come back to you,
so you tell me how this, the content of this book will translate in knocking down the so-called 30% agenda set by the MPP, and whether or not Akufo-Addo
30%.
That's what they said. They said they want 30%. I mean, 25 didn't work. I don't know why 30% will work. Council, you've been in Accra, but you've been in Volta region at the same time.
Yes.
Tell me something.
Thank you, and first of all, good evening to yourself.
Indeed.
I say good evening to the people watching us from Nkwanta, Bando, Bonre, Biakoye,
Dabala.
Krachi, Dabala,
Keta,
Adidome,
Agbozume,
North, I know that.
Anyako,
every corner of
all
Volta.
the places where they are watching us, right to Damanko, CB, Bonache, Pushrupu, Bontibo, Brewaniasi, wherever they are
He
that
has
they
the
are
map of
watching us.
Volta.
In fact, I work with the map.
You are in Volta, boy.
Yeah.
I work with the map. But I think that it's refreshing to note that our friends in the NPP still entertain certain, dream. And like they say, as for dream, you can't take it away from a man.
Once the person
So it's good that they have that appreciation. It's good. It's their right. But before I start, I like dealing with the figures.
Okay.
In 2008, then candidate Mills against Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Okay.
He pulled, then candidate Mills, Professor Mills, pulled 548,000 votes, 99 votes, constituting 82.46% of the valid votes cast. Nanado obtained 102,368,000 votes, representing 15.38% of the entire valid vote cast.
That's in the Volta region.
That's in Volta region. In 2012, with a new candidate John Mahama, and remember that Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo is the only presidential candidate from 1992 who has had the opportunity of meeting a new person and losing to him. I make this point because if you recall, President Kufuor came against Jerry Rawlings the first time, and he lost to Jerry Rawlings. Okay. His second coming, he came, met Mills, and he defeated Mills. Okay. So his second coming, he won. Then Mills came. His first coming, he met Mr. Kufuor.
Mr. Kufuor, yes.
Now, with the change of candidate, remember, he defeated the new candidate, Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo is the only person who has not been able to break the trend. That is to say, he lost to Mills and lost to John Mahama.
Twice in a row.
Now, with this 2012 results, candidate John Mahama had 734,641. That represents 85.47%.
Appreciation.
Now, Nanado had 111,000 votes, representing 12.93%. So, with John Mahama, Nanado's performance percentage-wise reduced from 15% to 12%. Now, it's important to also note that candidate John Mahama, within the space of 72 days of campaigning, had increased his performance by a whooping 200,000 votes.
Significant.
Nanado increased his performance a little over 9,000 votes compared to the 2008. He had been campaigning for more than 4 years.
Yes.
So, I mean, that is the kind of candidate the NPP is putting out there again. And I always make this simple analogy. If you and I today, you go to the market to buy tomatoes, canned tomatoes, and you are aware that this canned tomatoes is expired by reason of what is written. I ask this question. If you go and this canned tomatoes has a different brand, I mean branding or label, would you buy knowing the content is the same thing? Would you buy it?
No.
It's the content.
Yes.
It's the content.
Old content in
The NPP, because now we know that the content is now poisoned enough.
Yeah.
And that is expired.
It can kill.
The change of the label or the package does not change the content. So that, for instance, if today the NPP, by reason of whatever consultants, that,
NPP is an NPP member. Once he's an
yes, he didn't even
distinguish.
He said the moment you reach there and you know he's an airway, whatever you find, use it to hit him. And this is his own words. Yes. If you see a gun anywhere, one would have thought that if something had happened in Ododio, you resolve it there. What has an Ewe person got to do with it?
I am surprised.
Now you note that when this event happened, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo never condemned those utterances up to date.
But the party chairman celebrated it.
In fact, if you recall, the late Jacob Bilamte, may he so rest in peace, when finally Ken was released, they put him, celebrated him, took him to the party headquarters at Asalam Down with cars, pop and pageantry, like you indicated. And there, Jake said, the release of Ken and the support shown to him is the clearest indication that they were going to win the 2012 election. Regrettably, he became one of the petitioners in court, notwithstanding those prophecies. The point I'm simply making is that the fact that today Nana comes to you does not absolve him of what he has done relative to his inability to condemn those reckless comments that were made. It's important that we look at these issues critically. And I'm speaking to my people in the Volta region. I'm speaking to my brothers in Nkwanta. My brothers, their Chodes, their Cratches, and what have you. Southern Volta. I am not saying it. I'm not making it up. When Ken spoke, all right-meaning people in this country condemned him.
Yes.
Nana Addo never demonstrated leadership. At least leadership requires that when such comments are swiftly, the party first dissociate itself from it, condemns it, and say, look, next time we don't want you to do this. It never happened. And that is not.
The information is that he was described as a gem.
Subsequently. Subsequently. So the point I'm making is that looking at the performance of Nana, and that is what explains this performance. Because you see, all over the world, the most fundamental thing to any human being is self-preservation.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Self-preservation. So where a comment is made, as essentialist, you have to say something. If you recall, when Nanaye Osafo-Maafo was caught on tape, making those comments, very obnoxious, that regions without natural resources should not have the say in who become the president of this country. You recall. Up to now, as we speak, Nana Addo has not condemned that statement.
But what happened?
Why is today? Exactly.
He defended it.
Exactly. What is Nana Addo doing in Volta region today? Would he look in the eyes of any 18-year-old in the Volta region and say, young man, you have what it takes to become anything in this beautiful republic?
He can't inspire that confidence.
Especially so when he has not been able to condemn those comments by Nanaye Osafo-Maafo. Look, as we speak, President John Dramani Mahama believes that, and like he said, what is written is written. If you want to be honest with somebody, you put it in writing. You are bound by it. Contracts all over the world. I mean, you are a lawyer. They've always been put in writing. Why are they done? So that tomorrow you can hold the person to it. So in order to demonstrate that he, as President John Dramani Mahama, has never taken for granted the support from the good people of the Volta region, what he did is to cause this book to be published. What is called Accounting to the People, Volta region version of the Green Book. So that today, as we speak, you can pick this book and say, this project, okay, this project that the president claimed, and if you recall, this bridge, the
Adomi Bridge.
Adomi Bridge. Remember that this bridge basically, connects the northern part of Volta, middle part of Volta to the rest of the country.
Yes.
For several years, over 4 decades, nothing has been done to this bridge. It has to take President John Dramani Mahama to change the whole thing.
Okay.
Everything was taken off and a new
save
one.
Life too.
What it happened is that he puts the life of our people above anything. I mean, self-preservation. Look, so you can look at this and say whether or not the president. In fact, as we speak, my own home place, where I was born. Now, if you recall,
is that in Shumuru one?
Yes. Chinderi.
Is that in Nkwanta?
No, Chinderi, that's in
Chumuru.
Chumuru. Trache, Chinderi, going. Now, what happened is that President John Dramani Mahama, among the earliest community day secondary schools after Professor Mills's hometown one, the next to be commissioned was the one in Chinderi. In fact, the truth of the matter is that in relation to this Chinderi one, the school where they were initially was like a henko. It has to take the intervention of the president to do it.
When we come,
absolutely,
there's no
lesson. Look, let me
classes.
say this, and I say this with so much pride and confidence. But for education, where would some of us be? Look, President John Dramani Mahama, when then President Mills said, look, of the support Volta region had given to him, he will get a university to Volta region to have specialized training in allied health and sciences. As usual, our political opponents said, no, it was phantom, artistic impression, and that it can never happen.
No.
We demonstrated leadership beyond the rhetorics. We have delivered today a fresh, brand new university.
There was a cartoon in the Daily Guide that,
in fact,
that portrayed the forest, that the lion was the registrar admitting students,
absolutely,
and then the snakes were the lecturers in the. So they were just saying that the place was a forest. That this was never going to be.
Today, as we speak, and all of us can see it, the University for Allied Health and Sciences, bam, done. So that is why when you go to Volta...
You're not adding this point. That's the third batch of the medical students.
Yes.
They are there now. Third batch of. So what is missing? Looking at in the next 3 to 4 years.
So there's a human direct benefit
medical students.
to these facilities.
Look, my brother.
And we already have the first, product, the midwifery.
Oh, okay.
And School of Nursing. They are out there working. They are serving in our communities. They are serving in our district hospitals.
Okay.
In at various, some of these cheap camps. They are helping with the healthcare delivery.
Interesting.
And so, why?
And like I was making even the point, they mocked us. They said the place is a breeding ground of snakes.
Forest reserve. Beloved,
this is what President Mahama has delivered. So I'm speaking to that 18-year-old.
The first time voter.
That first time voter. That this university, it's not like somebody started it and then there is continuity. The act establishing it was taken to Parliament under the NDC. The infrastructure that you see today on those compounds.
That's a greenfield project.
Do you know that, incidentally, the New Patriotic Party, they have a TESCON on that campus?
Oh, yeah, they have it. And they meet.
Yes.
There. They have their student branch. There.
No, this time around,
and yet they said the university doesn't exist.
No,
and
this time they are not seeing
yes.
This time they are not seeing snakes.
Interesting.
The snakes have left.
Are you only talking about TESCON? There are keys. Some of the MPs have their keys. The NPP MPs have their keys. There's some. The last time the admission time,
begging for them to be admitted, lobbying behind the scenes.
Government officials to help them have admission. They are new.
It's a medical school.
Medical school.
It's a medical school, and for President John Dramani Mahama, the belief is that every one individual, every child in Ghana should never get to a point where he says, I was not able to go to school because there were no infrastructure. No. That is why President Mahama today, as we speak, is constructing the 200 community day secondary school. Do you know that from the time of old, Biakoye, comprising Kwame Krom, Nkonya, Bonre, those Bonre communities, never. You only have Nkonya secondary school. Today, as we speak, the community day secondary school is serving the people of Bonre and Kwame Krom. It has never happened. This is not like there was HIPIC project somewhere that president.
It's not a
started from
unit
no, from the very foundation to completion. So you see, the mind of President John Dramani Mahama, the vision that he has for Volta region.
And when you go to the laboratory at this newly commissioned school, it has all the facilities that you can see at Legon Presec, at Shimota, Accra Girls, wherever. So, and as we speak, they're already admitting. Students are there. And even the Chinderi one, we have a student population of almost 2,000 as we speak now.
The information I have is that even before the president goes to commission, the school is
that was
already in
that
session.
He gave the directive that
Don't wait for me to come and commission first. You are delaying
the projects are all over.
calendar.
He's commissioning everything. If you have to wait for him to come,
in fact, do you know that if President
Mm-hmm.
Mahama decides to commission project, even for Volta region, he will not be able to do it in 4 years.
They're all over the
There's
place.
too many of them.
In fact, if he is to spend every day commissioning the project, he will not be able to finish the projects in Volta region. And I make this point because, you see, look, I mean, they are pages.
All these things are Volta region projects,
what
so these
we
are
have-
not
and
outside
what
Volta
has been
region.
done is that you have names associated with the project.
So you can
so
go
that
to the
you
location and check for yourself.
evidence-based. You can then subject it to any form. You can subject it to any form of scrutiny or cross-examination.
And we've made provision
if
for all
you
the
want to.
assemblies.
Look, do you know something? For a long time, the road from so-called the Bogame to Ho has always been one carriage. Today, as we
are
speak,
dualizing
President John Dramani Mahama is dualizing it. It has never happened. Do you know that the people of Volta region have always asked for one aerodrome? They have done it without success. Today, by the grace of the Almighty God, we are having aerodrome there. And do you know the beautiful thing?
Tell me.
One of the principal promoters of African World Airlines, sorry if I have to say it on air, is Togui Apede.
Oh, okay.
He has an airline. And that airline will definitely get the opportunity of going through the aerodrome in Ho.
But the first phase of that project is almost done. In the coming weeks, the runway, the taxiway, and all the groundwork is almost certain. Today, staff of Ghana Civil Aviation are currently in Ho as we speak now, locating sites to mount the navigational facilities that will help the air traffic controllers and all other things that any airport requires. Like these are some of the conditions of ICAO that you need to have all these facilities for you to have the permit to get from. Because in the coming weeks, we are sure the first plane should be landing in Ho. The second phase is the terminal building. But without the terminal building, we can even have a structure like the 10 type that can handle the administrative thing. But the real job of any aerodrome is where you have the runway available.
And so those things have been done.
It's almost complete.
It's almost in the coming weeks. It should be ready. And so it's because it's almost ready. That's why civil aviation, the project is under airport company, but the aspect to do with the air traffic control issues is under civil aviation.
Okay.
So the officials, the technocrats are currently in Ho working on mounting
we are going to have planes fly there just like we do to Kumasi, to the northern region. They don't have to even go by road.
Absolutely. No.
The truth of the matter is that if you look at this, the president decided to construct 200 community-day secondary school. Volta has 15.
15.
As his share. 3 done.
Okay.
The remaining different stages of completion.
No, the North Town one is almost, as you speak now, it's ready.
Yes.
Yes, the North Town one in Volo
So, I mean, if you pick sector by sector, health, education, I mean, all the things that you can, in terms of road. And I was telling somebody, I had the opportunity of traveling to Hejranau after Klikor on the road, to Denu. That road, the dust alone. But today, under the NDC, that road has been fixed. Okay. Look, the water projects in Adidome. Look at the number of communities that it will serve.
5 districts.
The
first phase is the treatment plant is certainly ready. Okay. The next phase is the distribution phase, which is a phase 2 now, which the funding, His Excellency mentioned it, during the tour. The process is ongoing at the finance ministry. Once the funding is, it's just about €7 million project for the distribution, and 5 districts are benefiting from this facility.
How are the indigenes of our beloved Volta region responding to this? Do you see people give personal testimony? Because the claim of the MPP is that, you put out buildings and they are of no human benefits.
When you go to Mando, the whole of the communities along the Volta Lake, their livelihood basically it's with the lake. And so that without life on the lake, it means life is meaningless.
Okay.
Under the period of the new patriotic party in Volta region, in Mando Toko, these residents have to struggle without pontoon, without ferry for their economic activities. Okay. It's under our administration, His Excellency John Mahama, that we have a first-class ferry, state-of-the-art facility.
Okay.
Built by Dami. This is one of the finest, shipbuilding companies in the world, well noted in Holland. They have done this, and currently, as we speak, that is what the people of Bando are depending on for their economic success, traveling, social life, everything.
Very important.
Very critical. So when a thing like that is...
They are
Godeke one,
yes.
Afram planes. Basically, the whole
Right
livelihood of the people is the Volta.
Right to
So if you have a government that is extremely committed to ensuring that life on the lake is...
And very sensitive to their peculiar needs.
To their peculiar needs. Under your regime, our people have to be managing with this, what's the name?
Is it canoe?
Canoe, and every day you hear life and properties always going down there.
Do you know that as we speak, under this administration, we have 273 chip compounds scattered.
We are going to the health sector. Yeah. Do you know what I will need you to do? Hold on for me. We'll be back after this break. Don't go away. Thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Majority Caucus, and we are live on Multi TV on your Joint News channel. We've been looking at the president's tour in Volta region. We couldn't get you some footages, but we would make sure we make them available. Hopefully, maybe next week if we continue the discussion in the Volta region. We don't disappoint. But over the weekend, on Sunday, we were in North Tong, specifically Aveime Taxi Rank, to launch the Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa's campaign, 2016 campaign. We were there. It was mega. Very grateful to the people of Volta region. Egypt, the regional youth organizer, was there. Fafa, who is the DCE of North Tong, was there. The Hotoje, who is the parliamentary candidate for NDC in Central Tong, was also there. Madame Joyce Bawa, Kojo Chumbuafo, Honorable Omani Buama, Honorable Felix Kwachu Fusu, myself, I was there to see what is happening. It was Madame Sedinam Tamakluatiunu, they were all there. It was great. We thank the campaign task force for North Tong, which was led by Honorable Hodogbe, the former MP for North Tong. So grateful to his team spirit. He showed a serious leadership. Very grateful. Alaji Bubi, the former DCE, he was also there. I mean, all the people who mattered in North Tong politics were there. We were happy with the spirit of unity that they showed. Honorable Kujetu surely, yes, would win. I mean, Honorable Treme, his colleague deputy minister at the education ministry, was also there. Sunday was great, and then we also came to Accra. Honorable Mohammed Adamu Ramadan. In case you don't know, that's the elder brother to Samira Ramadan, who is Baomia's wife. And the other sibling is Abu Ramadan, who has been disturbing the Supreme Court with frivolous cases, in my view. So it was bigger. Also at Adenta, the football park. It was great.
Also massive.
It was great. Krowo. As for Krowo, there was no place for you to stand. And I've been told Ebi Bright will be doing hers for Tema Central this coming Sunday. Inshallah, we will be there to give her the needed support, as we always do for all the candidates. And the discussion will continue. We'll bring you more stories as we go on. Council, I needed you to separate them because I see we have
segmented
much. So let's deal with the health, because you started with the chips compound. Let me see the human benefits, how the people are responding to this chips compound. Because I remember it was at the ministers are being 10% of their salaries are going.
In fact, if you recall, in the Volta region, because the number of district hospitals, and also let's point out that the only regional hospital in the Volta region was built under an NDC administration.
Trafalgar.
In fact, if you go to Nkwanta,
please, it's not a teaching hospital.
I mean the only regional.
And it's not a teaching hospital.
Because it's to aid the university.
The medical school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we've upgraded
And President John Dramani Mahama, if you read the NDC manifesto, it is to be further expanded to really serve the full status of a teaching hospital.
Yeah.
So we are making this manifesto promise to the people, and we are going to deliver. In fact, ask the MPP what is their record. How many more hospital beds did they add to Trafalgar from 2001 to 2008? So I'm sure when my people, when Nanado comes, just ask him, all this promise to the people in the Volta region, how many more hospital beds did the MPP add to the hospital at Nkwanta Core Medical Village? How many more did they add? When you come to the hospital, the regional hospital in Ho, how many more hospital beds they added? I mean, these are very simple things that you can easily verify. Look, as we speak, on the question of cheap compounds, our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, the only crime they've committed is their decision to help with procreation, childbirth. And for that reason, some of them were dying. And unlike Nanado, when asked how he will resolve maternal mortality, where he alludes to free education, the NDC, under President John Dramani Mahama, believes that in resolving the health needs of any people, you look at facility, you look at personnel. If you have the personnel without the facility, it costs 90.
Okay.
If you have the facility without the personnel, costs 90. And that is why today, to the glory of God, we are training medical students in the Volta region. At least for their practicals, they can go to all the district hospitals in the Volta region, at least for the purposes of their practical, to assist the existing doctors.
They've been doing it.
And that is why they are. So it tells you the kind of transformational agenda, President. Look, 278 cheap compounds today exist in the Volta region
alone.
Now, what that means is that in the past, when our mothers could not access and were dying because of childbirth, that has been minimized significantly because of the existence of this cheap compound. You can never take it away from the NDC. So that's just in respect of health. Look, on the question, on the first question of social protection, look, the number of persons with urban card.
What that one? What is it for? What is it meant for?
Good. With the urban cards, persons above 60 years, 72 years, 80 years.
That's what I wanted to know. Those who are to benefit can also access
you mean
it.
70 years and
above.
Okay.
Persons of that age.
Persons
So
of,
those who are
for
supposed to be
instance,
like
persons of, okay, those in retirement.
retirement,
For instance, the age mate of Akufado. I mean, just to make an example, but not for purposes of mockery.
The various districts, the district registration is all there.
So okay.
So what we are simply saying, and when it comes to LEAP, you can also take that for LEAP.
This is livelihood empowerment against poverty.
So this is just Volta region.
Yeah.
So
Everything you see in this
viewers should
document.
take note that the discussion tonight is centered on Volta region. So whatever the content that's been shown on your screen is pertaining to the development
Maybe because
achievement.
maybe you should not confuse them.
Today,
This is Volta
this is
region.
just the Volta region. Today, as we speak, there are over 10,670 people registered on LEAP only in the Volta region. So what it means is that the agenda of the NDC relative to social protection, because you see, we believe that in every society, you have persons who are vulnerable.
Definitely.
There must be social safety nets for these persons.
Most of social democratic governments.
More importantly, a social democratic government. And that explains the numbers. And for the urban cards, it enables them to join free transport and access other facilities free of charge. As we speak, 2,600 people have been registered and have the cards, and they are using it in the Volta region. In terms of sports infrastructure, the promise is to upgrade the Volta, the whole stadium, into ultramodern, like what you saw in Cape Coast. And the 2016 mix. And we have delivered the Cape Coast one, and we are going to deliver that for the Volta region. There is no doubt whatsoever.
Once we deliver the university, we'll deliver the stadium.
I mean, if it's about delivery, other stuff.
I mean, it costs more, unless I'm ignorant of this, it costs more to put up a university than a stadium, right?
Absolutely. So if we are able to put up a university,
it
means that we can
the stadium will come.
Do that.
And I think between stadium and university, we need a university first.
Absolutely.
That has come. So the next stage is the stadium.
Absolutely. On the first question of expanding infrastructure, Look, my brothers and sisters who, for no fault of theirs, have been battling with the sea from time immemorial. So the NDC one, under Jerry Rawlings, decided to start the Cater Sea Defense Project, continued under the MPP administration, and we are still continuing. Because the battle...
At a snail pace under the administration.
The battle with the sea is a daily thing, and this government is watching out for the sea. There are times that our brothers and sisters along the sea get displaced. So in building the Sea Defense Project, government decided to do a housing project to augment whatever they have. So today as we speak, the picture is clear. So we have the Cater Sea Defense Resettlement Housing Scheme. It's being delivered to the people out there. And you can go and verify. These are not things that are made up. So you have the Atoko, Jita, and Anyanui
Sea Defense Project.
Sea Defense Project is going on. In terms of water, we've spoken largely about the Adaklu at the Dome.
But you know the first day of His Excellency tour, that was a Monday. The first major project he commissioned was a water project in Kpando. And that is serving 3 districts.
Okay.
The Kpando municipality, North Dine district, and the Biakoya district. Okay. So that until this project, the people in this district, issue of water was a major problem. And of course it comes with its, problems of, waterborne disease because of the sources of, water that they have to.
Please, for the record. So
he commissioned the Kpando water project, which is now, I guess that is even the reason why the students who want to hijack along the stretch that they will not want him to go, because for once, they're no longer going to wake up 4:30, going buckets on head, search of water. That affects the academic activities, that affects the academic work, that affects, lateness to class. So that means a lot. So water delivery, and what is coming along with
the chain effect.
The chain effects.
Okay.
So that is not just about water that you fetch in a glass and drink. Okay. It also means that the student who would have to wake up at dawn chasing water, instead of at dawn that he has to read his notes. And His Excellency has solved this problem. And so you think that our people would not appreciate this and would just say that
I will be very surprised.
Nanado
apart from that, which other project did the president commission?
Apart from that, when he left Kpando, he went to Biakoye. That was the Kwame Krom, the Kwame Committee.
Okay.
And then he also visited the Dambai, that is Kratchis. Do you know one of the major problems that Assembly faced? Under the MPP, the Assembly went out for some loan facility from Senate purposely to build market facility, and that never was. And so we inherited this debt that the Assembly in the last 3 years would have to be paying. Every single money generated by this Assembly will have to go into servicing debt. And so it denied the Assembly their own local initiative. Apart from the central government project, the Kratchi East Assembly was suffering just because of them. And the funny side of the whole thing, the current parliamentary candidate of the MPP was the DC at the time of this loan facility.
And he did nothing.
He did not. He actually went for that. And eventually the Assembly's sources of,
everything was started in paying back the
was to be used to pay all this loan. So it meant that it denied Assembly development. And so we inherited this project, and it took His Excellency the President to direct the central government to take over this facility so that Assembly can now use the resources to generate for developmental project, for the water that the people will need, for the cheap compounds that the people will need, for the roads that the people will need, for the markets that will promote economic activities in this area. These areas are, strongly informal economy, so that if the issues of Assembly not providing this basic social infrastructure, what it means is we are denying the people improved living conditions, we are denying them income.
In fact, do you know that
I have a question when you land.
When Nanado went to the Volta region, the Peki, immediately after Asikumi Junction, he was on part of the Eastern Corridor Road. Nice. If you look at the thickness of the asphalt.
It's like this. I don't see that kind of road
anywhere.
Accra,
you drove on it beautifully. And that kind of road, with all due respect, if you are not careful, you sleep.
Why?
Oh no, it's so beautiful.
But Councillor, are you suggesting that may have led Akufo-Addo
I'm saying
to sleep?
The smooth
but he complains that the president said, he slept on the way to Western region, and that is why he couldn't see that some of the roads.
In his case he slept. I'm saying that the smooth ride if you are not careful, especially if somebody else is driving you, you are likely to. But there's a more important thing. You know, from Habe, he drove on the Habe Pando Road.
You know, you know the name of that road? Bani Express.
Bani Express.
Yeah. Then Chief of Staff, now the Interior Minister. He virtually survived. Every other weekend,
he was there.
Our Interior Minister will be by site and making sure that
things
work was done. And today you drive on that road, it's like any other asphalt.
And like Council said, when you are being chauffeured, you are likely to sleep.
For a long time, if you get to Dambai and you cross the ferry, from that side to Bunya, to Brai, to Karachi, problem. Yeah. Today, as we speak.
But there has never been any road.
No. That road had been done, only left for the asphalt. Do you know, incidentally, yesterday when Nanado got to Dambai and was about crossing the lake using the ferry, there were some issues with a truck carrying yam getting stuck in. Do you know that the contractor working on that portion of the road was the contractor that brought one of his trucks to come and remove the truck that got stuck before. So
the ferry can
and
move.
do you know, incidentally, the name of the name of the ferry in the Rajakpa?
The Yagbunra.
Yes, the founder of Gonjala, where President John Dramani Mahama comes from. You know, so
let me read this message. I'll come back to you. This is from Alasa Rabiu. He says, "Dear Mustafa Hamid, please, if you are doing your politics, but stop mocking Islam. It's only an unreasonable person who will trust you if you tell them that not voting for Bawumia means a Muslim will never become president. Alhaji Alu Mahama, may his soul rest in peace, was not a pagan,
give him the opportunity.
But a dedicated Muslim. When he contested to lead the MPP in 2007, the party's pretense in respect of loving Muslims was badly exposed. How many of his Muslim brothers did support him? Mustafa Hamid, an Islamic scholar like you, would rather support Nana Akufo-Addo with all his knowledge in Islam and with all his heart. He and many others deserted their own brother in the hour of great need. In the hour of great need, sorry. Is he trying to tell us that Alhaji Alu Mahama was not the caliber of Muslim that deserved to be president of the Republic? Well, the law for Islam does not hinge on political pretense. Do you pause to ask yourself why, with all this noise of Muslim running mates, the NDC still beats the MPP in the Zongos and in the majority Muslim-dominated communities? I am a Muslim, but I will not vote for MPP. I saw what Muslims like Mustafa Hamid, Boniface Abubakar Siddiq, KT Hamon, etc., and the MPP did to Alhaji Alu Mahama. In your concluding remarks, my regional youth organizer for the Volta region.
No, it means that we have to get another session because we didn't go, we've not even got into the
middle of this beautiful work that
I'm hoping we'll do another session where we will support that with footages.
Yeah, sure.
But that would be fantastic. There's a more important matter I need to speak.
Okay.
You know, the discovery of petroleum.
Those things are going to go into, to the extent that that was a brainchild of former President Dr. Kwame Nkrumah the first. After the overthrow, the UP elements, they dismantled every single facility from that site at Chiavi and the Keta,
to change the course of history.
And it's His Excellency that is reviving that vision, that dream of making sure, our people, the people of the Volta region, enjoy the benefits of the oil and gas potential.
Drilling oil.
Yeah, Parliament has actually passed a facility. Anytime soon.
In Volta region.
In Volta region, along that. In actual fact, Nkrumah has started something along that corridor before the western side was discovered. But
that is why today we are building the deep sea port in Keta. So from 2017, we are starting that massive infrastructure.
It's in our manifesto.
And look at the number of jobs it's going to create alone.
To prepare for the oil and gas.
Just to prepare, to create the enabling
exploration of oil and gas.
For the world, oil and
But you see,
there's a more important matter. And I speak to our brothers, Muslims in the Volta region. For a long time in the history of this country, the celebration of the two Muslim festivals, it has to take the NDC administration to make it public statutory.
I remember
and that
being part of the
in
minority that stage a walkout.
The NPP
that they were having too many holidays
and they staged a walkout.
And what it meant was that a Muslim could just have to go to work, come and chop your rice and
still go back to office.
But
without giving that relevance to the celebration.
Every Muslim. So when I hear the likes of Mustafa Hamid go out there.
As for Mustafa Hamid,
we had a Muslim
we will dedicate another session for him.
Years.
With all the experience as vice president.
Today, the Nima drill is being covered. It never happened.
And you know our colleagues, the northern part of Volta region, this particular they have to go to Tamale.
Yeah, obviously we have to go to our discussion another time.
Yeah.
But a special good evening to Hajia Kitwa 1, the wife of Alhaji Sanusi. She's a loyal viewer of this program. She doesn't miss it for anything. Thank you for watching, and thank you for all other people who have been watching this program. Those we know, those we don't. When we meet you, we say hi. Thank you for watching. Yes, Madame Chifa Tivo. She was also in North
woman. That Madame woman. Please, let me say something. Can I say just 1 minute?
In 5 seconds, please. Be quick.
I salute her.
Yes, Madame, we salute you for your great works. We know what you do. And
the Volta Caucus.
Thank you for being in North Town. Thank you. And thank you for watching. We'll be here, inshallah, next week.